that you're using, the scissor that you're using is I guess a little bigger one for Sayesh to hold, because I could see that his thumb was, the scissor was going right here, wherein while holding the scissor, we should be holding it from here. Okay, so that is one thing that you can rectify. Maybe you can use a smaller scissor so that he can hold it in a little better way. Though he was cutting very nicely, I would really appreciate the way he was cutting. Yes, I could see that also, that you were supporting him holding the paper. So for that, I would say that you can add on a couple of more bilateral activities so that he can hold the paper himself, he can do the cutting part himself. So which means, I don't know how good the skills are, maybe. So bilateral activities include the ball catching activities. You can have a cross and touch activity. You can do a lot of activities, picking something from this side to this side. So these are all bilateral activities wherein you are involving both sides of your body to work in coordination. Okay, so maybe you are the better one to tell me about how good he is in bilateral activities. But yes, I could see, since you were supporting him in that, so he can improve on those skills so that he can be independent in cutting. Okay, that was the answer to your first question. Second, you said that climbing stairs independently is a trouble. He can climb up holding the railing, but independence is not there, right? So that tells me that there could be something that we need to work upon the balance. We need to work upon one leg weight bearing.
Okay, setting with the problem.
Okay, so one leg weight bearing means that he needs to stand on one leg, holding the entire body weight on that leg, lifting up the other leg. Okay, so while we are climbing up the stairs, we need to hold one leg, we need to lift up the other leg in the air, and my entire body weight is on the leg which is on the stair, on the step, right? So we need to work upon. So what you can do at home is you can have a short, small heighted stepping stool, make him stand right there. You can hold him, from his hip area and let him do the stepping up, stepping down, stepping up, stepping down. Similarly for the other leg, stepping up, stepping down, stepping up, stepping down. Okay, so that is something, while he's not on the stairs with a bigger height, he can just maintain his balance, he can get confidence in that, and then you can actually shift him to the real situation with the stairs. Okay, and while initially when you're starting, you can use a short heighted stool, then slowly and gradually you can introduce the heights to him while he's not on the stairs himself. Perfect. The third thing, one more thing which I want to highlight here is you need to work upon his core muscles. This is to all the parents. Core muscles are something which are really, really important when we are working on the upper body, we are working on the lower body, we are working on the trunk control, we are working on the fine motor activities, especially the writing. So I believe when we are the idea behind us whenever we are working on the fine motor is something that हमें सिर्फ fine muscles के साथ work करना है. But no, that's not the truth. Whenever we are working on the fine motor muscles, whenever we are working on the writing, we need to work upon the gross muscles as well. So we need to work on the shoulder stability, the wrist stability. We need to work on the good core muscles. If they are not there and you're just working on the fine muscles, those fine motor activities, clip activity kara liya, bead activity kara liya, you will not reach to your final goal. Okay, so this is something, core is something really, really important. And what all activities you can do to improve your core muscles is something that you can lie down and do the abdominals. You can do sit stand with the child. You can do kneeling position with the child while the child is completely on the knees. Maybe, so I'm sorry for this demo. Yeah. So the child is like here, like this on the knees. You can do the knee walking. You can do half kneeling with the child. The way the child has to get up, जैसे हम खड़े होते हैं. So one knee is bent, the other knee is here. Yeah. See, this way. Okay. So these are all activities that help in core muscle development. Okay. So this is for Sayesh in specific and for general as well. One thing you mentioned that he cannot walk on the wet floor. Yeah. So for that, I have a suggestion. Maybe what you can do is you can just splash some water on the floor and have a mat this side, another mat this side. Let him walk on only on this small confined area. Let him be comfortable with the wet vibe, wet, texture that he's there and he might slip. But then he has that safe environment all around that he can step right away from this wet area to this safe area. So stepping from this mat, then a wet area, and then a mat again. So wet, he can step on from this wet to the mat, then mat again to wet, and then wet again to mat. Okay, you can make him walk in the water pool if you have. With a very less water, make him walk in the water pool with the length. So he knows that he's very, very safe there, but he has a wall to, hold on whenever he feels that he's unsafe, and he's not going to fall anyways while he's walking on the in the pool, maybe. Yeah. Yes, and yes, one more activity that you can make him do is in this wet area, what we have just discussed, that mat, wet and mat, you can make him do the twisting movements so that his foot are twisting, his feet are twisting, and then he's able to balance himself. So I think balance is one area for which you need to work more on, Sayesh. Okay.
Yes.
Am I done with all your queries?
Yes. And Shweta, I think this is a lot like applicable for a lot of our parents. The core that you talked about, the balance that you talked about, and different surfaces, texture, because I see a lot of children have these troubles, walking on different kind of surfaces. So whatever the strategy that you have told, dono side पे stability and बीच में उसको expose करना, I think that could be very, very good for a lot of us. We have another question from Madhavi. I think I sent you about sensory processing issues. The child is 12 and she's homeschooling him. There are a lot of sensory seeking behavior. So need of being wet. He wants to wash face, brush teeth frequently, walk on wet surface, throws things from balcony, enjoys the motion and sound, pour water on small objects from one container to another, lip movements, smells any object, avoid music and loud sounds. Yeah. So she's asked, what kind of sensory input can be provided in a structured way?
So for this, I need to actually speak to her. Can I?
Yes, Madhvi, are you here? Madhvi?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So I just wanted to know that are you doing your OT, and what all activities you're doing if you are doing your OT?
या उसका ओटी चल रहा है मैम, और उसमें स्पेशली उससे पहले तो वहां पे फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट वर्क कर रहे थे उसके साथ, फिर उसका एक सेशन हुआ है प्रॉपर ओटी का, तो उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया है कि फुल बॉडी प्रेशर विद जिम बॉल,
Yes.
थेरा बैंड एक्टिविटीज,
Yes.
या इतना उन्होंने सजेस्ट किया है।
Okay.
और कि उसको इंटेंस ओटी के सेशंस अभी और लगेंगे। और आपने ये जो बोला कि साइड बाय साइड जो मूवमेंट्स आपने बोला वो सजेस्ट किया है।
अच्छा।
या बट मुझे ये जो उसका ऑब्सेशन है कि छोटी छोटी वो जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स वो एक कंटेनर में से दूसरे कंटेनर में डालते रहता है, और साउंड और उसका वो जो मोशन है वो ऑब्जर्व करते रहता है।
हाँ, सो इसमें ना दो चीजें दैट यू हैव मेंशन्ड आर लिटिल कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी। वन, आपने बोला कि वो ऊपर से चीजें फेंकता है तो वो सीख करता है उसका साउंड एंड मोशन। दूसरा, यू हैव मेंशन्ड दैट ही अवॉइड्स लाउड म्यूजिक एंड साउंड। सो दीज आर टू कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी थिंग्स।
बट ये दोनों है उसके उसके बिहेवियर में, ये दोनों चीजें हैं।
अच्छा, तो क्या ऐसा होता है कि जब वो ऊपर से कुछ भी थ्रो कर रहा है, ही इज नॉट रियली सीकिंग द साउंड बट ही इज ट्राइंग टू सी द मोशन ओनली?
या मे बी या क्योंकि वो जब म्यूजिक कोई भी होता है और बहुत ज्यादा लाउड जो साउंड्स होते हैं वो अवॉइड करता है, स्पेशली म्यूजिक मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया है, हिंदी म्यूजिक, मराठी, एनीथिंग उसे पसंद नहीं है बिल्कुल भी।
ठीक है, so when we say that he's avoiding the loud music, maybe he has hypersensitivity to auditory stimulus. Okay. So I think all of you are aware of hypersensitivity, hyposensitivity. Is every parent aware of what hypo and hyper means?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So he has hypersensitivity, which means thoda sa stimulus is something which is super high for him. So we need to desensitize and bring it to the level which is near to the normal, so that he can bear that. He has that capacity that he can withhold with that stimulus, right? So here,
Yes.
what you can do is, one, you can have headphones for him with very light and calming music. That's one thing. Second, you can do the ear pressure to him. Ear pressure. Ear pressure means, what you can do is, with this area of your palm, you need to press the ear. There will be a vacuum created. So जब हम ये press करेंगे, there will be a vacuum, and this area will stick to my ear here. All of you can try this out. So it is going to stick here, right? And now if you pull it out immediately, it's going to hurt you. So to that, what you need to do is, while this is happening, you need to remove this area so that you can release the vacuum and then remove your ear. So do this for 10 counts, hold it and then remove. Then again do it, hold it for 10 counts, then remove. You can do it for at least 2 to 3 minutes. He will really enjoy this activity. He would really feel calm with this. So this is called ear pressure.
Okay.
Okay. When you say that he's throwing something and he's seeking, maybe visual, I think when he's pouring the things from one container to the other, that is also something that he's trying to seek visual. Okay, it could be just a behavior, it could be an activity wherein he just wants to engage himself क्योंकि उसके पास और कुछ शायद नहीं है अपने आप से अपने आप को engage करने के लिए. So it could be just a self-engaging activity, but it could be something that he's trying to seek visual there as well. Okay, so since I don't know each child very personally, so maybe there could be some ups and downs in the answers and queries that I'm trying to give you. So kindly bear with that. But what I am trying is to give you an idea, an overview of something that I can help you out with. So maybe if he's trying to seek visual, you can try and give him some, those the lights that we usually get at the time of Diwali. That revolving bulb. So you can have that bulb in the room, off the lights, make him sit there, make him do, talk to him that what all colors are there. But that activity should be something that, सिर्फ room में बैठा करके उसको light देखने के लिए छोड़ नहीं देंगे. That is a meaningless activity. He's there inside the room, but you're talking to him, you're chatting with him, you're talking which colors are there. You can tell me maybe, if the child is verbal. So suppose there is a red color light inside the room. So you can ask how many red fruits, you can tell me the name of all the red fruits. So that at the same time, he's getting that visual input, but he is engaging himself into a meaningful activity. It's not something that you're left the child कि अब आप सीख करते रहो visual input. वो तो वो खुद से भी कर रहे थे. So whatever is the purpose of sensory integration means that at a specific time you are providing sensory diet to the child so that the kids, they are involving themselves into a socially inappropriate activities. आपने उस थेरेपी टाइम में वो सारी चीजें उनको दे दी ताकि वो बाद में उन सोशल इनअप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर्स में अपने आप को एंगेज ना करें. That is what sensory integration means. This is what is the purpose behind it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. When you say smells, you can have smell neutralizers. So lemon or all the essential oils, especially the lemon oil, is a smell neutralizer. So you can use the lemon oil just a drop here. You can put it on the collars. You can put it here. So whenever the child is smelling, so the smell, it then neutralizes that smell seeking thing. Okay, so you can use that. You can use coffee beans also.
Okay.
Yeah. Have I answered all your queries?
Yes, I think so. And I think Shivani, your questions were kind of similar. So I'm sure you have also gotten answer to what Shweta has said. Shweta, is it like, correct me if I'm wrong, sensory integration when you had said, so it's like a child needs certain kind of food, if I'm kind of metaphor to the food. So he's eating junk, but what we need to do is we need to kind of give him healthy foods so that whatever his needs of the body are satisfied. Absolutely. And he's not engaging in that junk anymore.
Absolutely.
So by giving
you are providing that, you are providing. So sensory, so whatever kids are doing. So for example, they have this need of banging, bang, 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 bang. This is their need. This is their bodily need. We observe it. ये पता नहीं क्यों ऐसा कर रहा है, and why they are doing this. But this is their body need because they want to actually stimulate their joint receptors. So which is why they are doing it. So while they are engaging in this inappropriate activity, if you provide them the activity with which their needs get fulfilled, why will they do this? So you're providing that particular diet to the child. It's absolutely what you said, that they want to eat something junk, but if you combine something, maybe junk with something healthy and then giving it to the child, so they are satisfied that okay, मुझे ये भी मिल गया, but हमने अपनी need को भी पूरा कर लिया साथ.
Right. So I think all the parents, the one thing that they need to do is like at least recognize what are the sensory needs of a child, and I think all of our children, irrespective of the diagnosis, they do have these sensory needs. And then once we recognize it and take care of it, maybe कहीं जाना है आपको घूमने के लिए, you do it in the morning, and your child will be settled.
There is one more thing. There's a very thin line between sensory seeking and the things that have become a behavior. Very thin line, right? So if there is some child who has been doing something, from since very long, and their needs have not been met, so those things have become their behavior. So now they are no more the sensory. So you need to work on the behavior at that point in time.
Absolutely. And if you don't know whether that's a behavior or just sensory need, then you can always seek out a help from a professional and reach out and figure out. So it's अगर शुरू में address हो जाए, तो it doesn't become a behavior.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Shweta. Shweta, Sonali has a question. Our son has a diagnosis of Down syndrome. He throws things, scratch others, open shoes, hit others when she stopped the therapy. Or when she does the OT, he's normal, as in he doesn't behave that way. He's 8 years. How long will it take? दूसरों का सामान भी ले लेता है. Yeah.
So actually, how long does he need therapy? So what happens is actually, in the initial years, what we are doing is we are providing the therapy to the child. We are the caregivers. We are giving everything to the child. Slowly and gradually, we need to train the kids to meet their own needs. Okay, so yes, definitely there is one limit that आप कब तक उसको maybe बाहर से therapy कराते रहोगे या आप घर पे therapy करते रहोगे. There's definitely a limit to it, but we need to understand that the child has that need. वो उसकी जरूरत है. आप खाना नहीं छोड़ सकते हो. So it's the similar way. This is the diet of the child. So अगर उसकी वो जरूरत है, so you need to fulfill that need. So maybe if you are tired of giving him the therapy, then maybe you need to teach the child how to satisfy his needs. So for example, if the child has got a need of getting a hand pressure, maybe, to calm himself down. So what you can tell him that while sitting, you can put your hands under your bum. So while if you're anxious, if you have that anxiety getting inside you, just put your hand under your bum and maybe you can rock a little and then you'll feel relaxed. So that is how you can go further. But if there is a need, there is a need.
Yeah, so maybe you can learn it on your own and visit an OT maybe once a month or I don't know, once in 2 months, but then have that at least know what does your child need and then provide those behaviors yourself.
Yes,
they will have to be done.
Absolutely. And what other thing that you can do is, so for example, if there is a child, maybe so for example, if the child, for example, this mother also mentioned that he's throwing things. So maybe throwing sometimes is associated with proprioceptive input. Okay, that the child needs some sort of they need to move their receptors. They need to get the input at the receptors. So if that child is doing something like this, if you can involve this particular child in carrying load in the everyday routine, so maybe bringing up vegetables from downstairs from the vegetable vendor, or maybe lifting up water bottles from the kitchen area to the refrigerator, or maybe some other, maybe the mopping bucket, from one room to the other room, whatever it is. So if you can involve the child in everyday routine chores, maybe those needs gets fulfilled. So it's not something that separately आपको time निकाल करके बैठने की आज मुझे आधा घंटा उसको OT के लिए बैठाना है. It's not really mandatory. If you can involve, if you can make a routine, if you can make a schedule in which all his needs gets fulfilled, you're done. You don't have to take that specific time out.
Right. It makes so much sense, and I think parents, if you like whatever I am hearing, I feel it's a lot of, you know, empowerment, in the sense that once you know what to do, and if you can implement it in your day-to-day activities, the best. That's the best. Okay.
For that, you know, every parent should know what exactly is the need. So maybe if you are not aware of, please consult a professional so that you get to know that these are the needs. You cannot visit anywhere. It's absolutely okay. But you, at least you have that knowledge that how to fulfill the need.
Absolutely, absolutely makes sense. Manisha, you had asked the questions, and I think a lot of it was already answered in the previous question, right? Is there anything else that's left that you would like to know, Manisha? You're on mute.
Yeah, I would like to know whether all these sensory parameters are integrated or interlinked. Like, if I provide him more proprioception, is it likely that he is going to calm down overall, and he is like to not seek other senses like auditory seeking or maybe smell? Is it interlinked or it is not? Like, for that sense, we have to give that.
These are different. So when you talk about, if you're giving him proprioceptive input, the auditory is not interconnected with it. The smell is not interconnected with it. So for every separate thing, you have to provide him separately. Yes, proprioceptive input also gives the calming effect, wherein the vestibular also gives the calming effect. But we need to understand why we are giving proprioceptive, why we are giving vestibular, why we are giving auditory. There is no set regime कि हर बच्चे का विजुअल है तो उसको ऐसा दे दो, हर बच्चे का ऑडिटरी है तो उसको ऐसा दे दो, हर बच्चा हाइपर एक्टिव है तो उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ स्विंग पे बैठा करके गोल गोल घुमा दो. There is no set regime like that. Every time, whenever you're working on sensory, it is always tailor-made that this particular child has this specific need. वो इस तरीके से काम कर रहा है. अगर even if that child is seeking vestibular, but वो इस particular तरीके से काम कर रहा है, तो उसको ये वाला swing मिलना चाहिए. It's not mandatory कि हर बच्चे को उसी तरीके से हम काम करा दें. No.
Okay. And the other thing is, my son is, the scalp is very hypersensitive. Sensitive. He doesn't let me comb his hair. So is there anything I can do for it?
So it looks like that the hypersensitivity, tactile hypersensitivity is there. So the comb, when you do, that is a very light touch. So kids who have got hypersensitivity, tactile hypersensitivity, they are aversive to light touch. So you can give them deep touch. So put your fingers here, let his scalp, you know, get this deep pressure here, so that he becomes used to the pressure, he becomes used to the touch. Okay. Then you can, you know, let your fingers go on and comb his head like this, you know. So he is getting used to the touch. And then slowly and gradually, if he is aversive to comb in specific, you can use your fingers, you can let him get used to the touch and then bring out the comb. And जब आप comb भी लेकर के आएंगे, at that point in time, do it a little hard. Don't do it soft. Soft is always something which is aversion. You know, kids don't like it if they are hypersensitive.
Okay. My kid keeps on listening to light sound which is made by piece of paper, but otherwise he doesn't have any other auditory issues. But to calm himself down, he needs this thing. So how can I replace it? Like, at times his both hands are busy, and then he's not ready to write, or he is not ready to do the activity which we expect him to do.
Headphones.
But yeah, can you hear me?
Headphones. I said you can use headphones with the calming music.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Shweta, tactile ke baare mein you were talking now. I've got two questions. One is from Pramila and other is from Sumati. Pramila says that her son gets scared to touch umbrella or a bush of plants, and Sumati says the daughter is scared. She's 7 and scared to touch flowers. So, are there any?
Is there anything else that you're scared of?
No, Sumati says no, only the flowers.
No, only flowers, Shweta ji.
Only flowers.
Yeah, even if I keep flowers on my head, she shouts. Even if I keep flowers on my head, she asks me to remove it. Please, I don't want. Please, she can't touch. And if I ask her to smell, also she is afraid of flowers.
Can you go back and recall any incident that has happened with the flower?
No, I couldn't recall, and she doesn't have any other sensory issues. and I can see that she can't walk on grass. I just recall now, she doesn't like to walk on grass. Only these two sensory issues she has.
Is she okay wearing the socks?
Yeah. All she's fine.
Okay. Maybe how is she in drawing?
She likes to draw, and she's starting to imitate things. She'll say, "Mama, I'll draw your face," and just try to make some scribblings.
Have you ever tried making a flower and coloring it? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I've tried. She doesn't have any issue with that.
She doesn't have any issues. So if you can try, make a cutout of the flower and tell her to put the paper pasting and tearing activity. She's okay with that?
No, I have not tried it.
Sorry?
I have not tried it.
You've not tried it?
Yes.
Okay. If she's eating, if the gravy or something else gets on the hand, does she, immediately wants to wipe it off, or she's okay with it?
She used to do that same, but now she is fine. Now she's fine.
Maybe there are some tinges of tactile sensitivity.
Okay.
So it could be. So I'm not too sure. We need to check those things out in practicality. But it could be that maybe some tinges of sensitivity are still there. So you can do a lot of messy play with her. Messy play in the sense you can use the shaving foam, you can use the clay, you can use the Fevicol, you can use sand play. All these are the parts of messy play. So you can use them. Let her get used to all these textures, and then you can try flower. Maybe another thing that you can try is you can use the artificial flowers in the beginning. Let her touch the artificial flowers. That they are not going to do anything. Then you can draw on a piece of paper. You can draw a flower. Let her paste the artificial petals there. Then you can replace the artificial petals to the real petals.
Right.
And then you can. This is how maybe you can desensitize her fear.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Another question is from Sajjan, and he says, my major concern, and I think this is for many of our children with DS, not just him, that wherever my son goes, he has to have something in his hand to shake. He always takes comb from dressing and shakes. We tried hiding the comb, but then he started shaking anything that he finds. I think across the board, Shweta, some people, children will have eraser, maybe a chain, something that they get so possessive about. And then parents, please unmute yourself. So yeah, I think this is across the board. So yes, what's your suggestion?
So first thing that comes to my head is that it could be only a self-regulatory behavior. If you're holding something in your hand, you're going anywhere, something which is really dear to you, you're possessive about it. It could be something that, something which I am comfortable with is in my hand. Maybe I'm going in public and I am not too okay with the crowded places, but this particular thing is there in my hand and I feel secure with it. So it could be a self-regulatory behavior. That is one. Second, many of the times we call it as clenching also. So आप कुछ भी हाथ में उठा करके रखोगे, लेकिन आपका एक hand जो है वो हमेशा occupied रहेगा with something in your hand. It could be a eraser, it could be a bead, it could be any small thing, but there is something in your hand. So we call it as clenching. It could be tactile hyposensitivity, that you need to have something in your hand. So again, we need to do the sensory wala part for it. Okay. Third thing, when you say he's holding something and shaking it in specific. Now, if it is the comb, it may be that he's seeking visual out of it. It may be that he's, sorry.
Yeah, जैसे वो लिख रहे हैं, okay, something if I give him writing, addition दे रहा हूँ, कुछ दे रहा हूँ, वो उसने एडिशन कर लिया एंड बीच में मैं कुछ दूसरा कुछ प्रिपेयर कर रहा हूँ, तब उसको बीच में पेंसिल मिल गई तो वो शेक करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. राइट. तो ऐसा है कि उसको जब भी टाइम मिलता है वो शेक कर रहा है.
Is he looking at it every time?
No, he might not look. If he is doing something and he will be doing, इसका हाथ ऐसे चलते ही रहेगा.
Okay. Is there
So it's
anything
not-
else that he tries and shake?
या उसको वो नहीं मिला तो he will pick up say hair band, कुछ भी मिल गया उसको anything that he finds he will start shaking.
But it's big, like not the rubber, not the eraser. Like it has to be pencil, comb,
pencil,
hair,
comb,
Something stick
eraser.
like. Something stick like.
He will try to find like that, but if he doesn't find, then he has his own ways of picking something and shaking. Yeah.
So usually, does he do this maybe in the intervals while you're making him do the study at that point?
No,
in time that
anytime,
happens,
anytime. अभी वो उठ के ही सीधा बोल रहा है मुझे comb चाहिए, तो उसको comb देना पड़ा, तो otherwise he started crying. And in the school also they are complaining that yes, he started shaking, so it might be behavioral issue or what is that, so you please work on it.
देखिए हम दो चीजों के साथ शुरू कर सकते हैं. क्या वो खुद से कभी स्पिन करता है?
क्या करता है?
स्पिन करता है, गोल गोल घूमता है?
No.
Does he try and look to the fans or maybe lights or switches or doors?
The diagnosis is DS, Shweta also, I just thought.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Okay. It's just shaking. Does he bang the tables or जब वो doors बंद करता है तो it's always with a ठा sound or it's light?
He initially he used to do banging, but धीरे धीरे उसको बताने से वो भी धीरे बंद करता है. Sometimes that is because of his control. उसको control नहीं कि कितना जोर से उसको प्रेस करना, उस वजह से वो बैंग कर देता है.
While he's writing, क्या उसका writing pressure बहुत dark लिखता है?
लाइट है उसका अभी, डार्क नहीं है. उसको जब बोलता हूँ तब वो डार्क करता है, बट जनरली लाइट ही है.
अच्छा. Have you ever tried giving him a glass of water in a disposable glass?
We have मतलब दिया है, ऐसे कुछ ऑब्जर्व नहीं किया उससे क्या हो.
वो उसको ज्यादा प्रेस करता है या नॉर्मल होल्ड करता है?
I don't know. I will have to see that again. Yeah. But I think we have not find any issues with that. जब ट्रेन में ऐसे गए हैं तो पकड़ लेता है वो.
नहीं पकड़ तो लेता है, बट कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि हमने उसको थोड़ा सा ज्यादा प्रेस कर दिया.
जूस वगैरह दिया है तो वो पी लेता है. आई थिंक हमने जूस वगैरह दिया तो पीता है बाहर जूस शॉप में ऐसे.
How old is he?
He's 10 years.
He's 10 years. Okay. So I am not too sure, but maybe he has that prop seeking activity. It could be. So again, I mean, I have my question marks on it right now. But maybe शायद उसकी proprioceptive seeking activity है, because every time if he's shaking something, so he's trying to shake his joint receptors only. Okay. So for that, what you can do is maybe make him do the hand walk. Have you ever tried doing that?
Hand walk?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay, I'll tell you. So if this is your son, bring him to the crawling position. जैसे babies crawl करते हैं, right? His hands are there on the floor. You lift up the leg and make him walk on the hand. Okay. You try and do this, maybe couple of rounds to and fro in the room. That's one activity that you can do. Second, you can do maybe TheraBand stretching. Okay. Third, maybe you can do lifting up of the weights. So like I said earlier, maybe, lifting up of the water bottles from the kitchen area to the refrigerator, or maybe, from the vegetable vendor to upstairs. So you can try these things. So when you say that he doesn't have a control, which means that we don't have a pressure gradation. हमें नहीं पता है कि कितना pressure कब apply करना है. और वो कब होता है? वो तब होता है जब मेरे joint receptors जो है, they don't know what is exactly to be done maybe. Okay. So right now, what comes to my mind, what I can think of is this only. So just try and do these activities. Maybe it help you out. If it helps you, please let us know. Even if it doesn't help you, please let us know so that we can figure out something else and we can try and figure out solution to it.
Shall I take a video and send when he's shaking?
Please do that. Okay.
Also, maybe, we can schedule another call with Shweta, maybe in a month's time or 2 months, 1.5 months time, So whatever exercises she has told you, you can do that, and maybe we can revisit that. Shweta, I think I'll take just last two questions, and then okay. So Shlok is a child with DS, and he's very, very hyperactive. When he gets angry, he hits himself badly. 50% of the time he doesn't obey even if he understands the instruction because of his hyperactive nature. Parents are saying we feel that he has ADHD problem. When he go out, he touches here and there and throws the goods which are kept in shop, try to push others, sometimes spits on someone. Also, he gets irritated from shoes and socks and always throws them. He throws sofa covers when he sits on sofa. Yeah, I think there were a couple other things that he had said. So yeah, but largely this is what it is. Yeah.
Okay. So how old is Shlok?
Shlok is, hang on. I think Shlok is 10 now.
Yeah, 9 years, ma'am.
9
year, ma'am. 9 year. 9 year.
9 years. All right. And is he undergoing therapy?
No, ma'am. Right now, he's not going.
No therapy?
No.
One thing that I'm going to suggest, because you're saying that, so one thing, what I just mentioned, the hand walk part, you can do the hand walk with Shlok also. Okay, you can give him deep body pressure, the ball pressure. Do you know about the ball pressure?
No, please explain.
Sure, I'll do that. So suppose Shlok is lying down here. So how you're supposed to do the body pressure is, so suppose you have got a ball, a therapy ball, or maybe a rounded pillow, but that pillow should not be too soft. It needs to be little hard and heavy. Okay, so you can either use a gym ball, a small gym ball, or you can use a rounded pillow. So from the ankle to the mid thigh only, please make sure any parent who is giving body pressure to their kids, please make sure you need to avoid the pressure on the private part. You need to avoid the pressure on the private part, which is why I personally always prefer that we give the body pressure in this position only. So while the child is lying down on their back, so we are giving the body pressure from the ankle till the mid thigh in a very smooth and gentle way, this way. Okay, very slowly, gently, and in a rhythmic way. It should not be ye nahi karna hai. It needs to be slow and gentle, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to calm the child. Okay, and then from tummy till the chest, here the pressure is going to be little low, wherein on your legs the pressure is going to be little high. Here the pressure is going to be little low. So again, this way you're going to give the pressure
With the help of gym ball, ma'am.
with the
help of gym ball.
No, I didn't get you, I'm sorry.
She's saying, do we need a gym ball for this?
Yes, you need a gym ball, or you can use a rounded pillow. If you don't have a rounded pillow, the alternate maybe that जो cover होता है, जो round pillow का cover होता है, you can get the cotton filled in it. Maybe 2 or 3 kgs depending upon the weight of your child. So 2 or 3 kgs of cotton, you can get it filled, and it needs to be little tight and hard. It should not be soft. जो market में polyfill वाले मिलते हैं, they are not the good ones. They are not the suited ones for this. Okay, so either you can have a gym ball, or you can have this rounded pillow.
Okay.
We have ball, ma'am. We have ball in my house.
Sorry, you have a ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Then go ahead with the ball. Please make sure that do not give pressure on the private part. Make sure of this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about
One is the body pressure that you can give. Second is the hand work you can do with the Shlok. Third, what you can do is you can have, by any chance, do you have any sort of swing at home?
No, ma'am.
No swing. maybe a very gentle thing that you can do is just have a bed sheet. Bed sheet में आप श्लोक को लिटाएंगे. So one corner of the bed sheet, father will hold. One corner of the bed sheet, you can hold. Okay. And so this is the bed sheet. Shlok is lying down here. You can roll the bed sheet slowly up and roll the bed sheet the other way around. Okay. So the Shlok is what Shlok is doing. Shlok is actually revolving inside. वो राउंड राउंड घूम रहा होगा अंदर. जब आपने दोनों ने इस साइड का अप किया तो श्लोक इस साइड घूम गया. जब आपने इसको अप करके इस साइड किया तो श्लोक इधर आ गया. Okay, so this is how we are going to do with the bed sheet, and a very slow and gentle movement this way. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am. But swing से भी
Yes,
तो कर सकते हैं. Swing अगर पास में है तो.
क्या चीज?
She's saying park में अगर swing है तो उस पे कर सकते हैं क्या? Is it the same thing?
हम कर सकते हैं. पार्क में भी स्विंग अगर है तो हम टू एंड फ्रो कर सकते हैं उसके अंदर. टू एंड फ्रो स्विंग को पकड़ के उसका जो चेन है, होल्ड द स्विंग एंड सिर्फ जेंटली करना है. यू डोंट हैव टू डू इट वेरी फास्ट. प्लीज मेक श्योर व्हेन योर चाइल्ड इज हाइपर एक्टिव, तो हमें सारी की सारी एक्टिविटीज नीड्स टू बी वेरी स्लो, कामिंग एंड जेंटल एक्टिविटीज.
तो swing से easily बैठ लेता और करता भी है. मतलब वो डरता नहीं है.
हाँ, वो डरता नहीं है बिकॉज वो उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है. बट हमें उसको उस तरीके से रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल नहीं करके देनी है. उसकी नीड है अगर, तो नीड को हम पूरा करेंगे. वो फास्ट कर लेगा, लेकिन हमें उसको फास्ट नहीं देना है. ओके. एंड वन मोर थिंग दैट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन मेक हिम कैरी अ बैग. जो स्कूल बैग होता है, जिसे हम पिट्ठू बैग कहते हैं, दैट बैग व्हिच हैज गॉट 2 straps here. You can fill in the weight, and whenever you're going out, just make him carry that bag. It will calm him down.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Shweta, I think now I'll take the last question from Shweta. Another Shweta. Yes.
The same.
Ma'am, hello. Yes. Stroke. What he started now, maybe before a few days or maybe few months, he rub his leg and puts his hand on between that, and which is really very embarrassing. Means the both of the leg he rub and puts his hand on in between that. That is also very embarrassing.
He rubs his legs.
Legs. Yes.
And then where does he put his hand?
In between that, near about the private part or something like that.
It could be that he's. Do you feel that he's trying to self-stimulate?
No.
कभी आपने ऐसा नोटिस किया है that वो उल्टा लेके
No, not at all.
Never.
No.
See, okay, this is general to every parent जिसके साथ कोई भी किसी भी तरीके का behavioral concern आ रहा है. Never tell the child immediately if you see something which is very embarrassing, या हमें ऐसा लग रहा है that you know the child should not be doing this in public or maybe even at home also. अरे ये क्यों कर रहे हो? Why are you doing this? नहीं ये अच्छी बात नहीं है. Never react like this to your kids. You know, because then they know that I am doing something with which I might get attention from my parent. If you notice something like that, you need to calm yourself down. First, gather all your patience inside, and then answer to the child that, baby, what other thing that you can do? You know, maybe if suppose your child is throwing something, you can tell him that usko hum aaram se rakh sakte hain. You need to tell your child what they are supposed to do rather than telling them what they should not be doing. Because जो उनको नहीं करना है वो अगर आप उनको बताएंगे तो उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. You have been telling them since long, but if you tell them what they are supposed to do, that will make more sense. And yes, I understand your question. Maybe that उनको हमने बताया, उनको समझ में नहीं आया है, वो ये बात नहीं सुनते हैं. Maybe हम जब थोड़ा सा चिल्ला करके बोलते हैं, they understand it and they stop doing it, but that's momentarily. That is momentarily at times. Okay, so if you keep telling them what is positive, what they're supposed to do, maybe first time they will not understand, 5th time they will not understand, maybe 50th time they will understand, but they will understand and they will do what they are supposed to do. लेकिन अगर आप उनको ये बताते जा रहे हैं that what they are not supposed to do, they might not understand even the 100th time. They will still do 101 time again the same thing. Okay, so this is in specific to Shlok's father. If he is not trying to self-stimulate and you feel that this is really embarrassing, you can just tell him that Shlok, अगर आपको leg में pain हो रहा है, then Mama can, maybe, oil your legs or maybe you can just tell him, अच्छा आप अपने hands को bed पे रख सकते हो, ये यहाँ पे नहीं रखना है, don't give him that sort of a reaction.
Also, I think now बच्चे जो भी अभी 8-9 years की एज ग्रुप में हैं और 9 से लेके 13, 14, 15 तक जिनके भी बच्चे हैं, they need to be like really careful. They will come see the behaviors, all self-stimulating behaviors and all this puberty that's coming on. So more than the children, I think you need to tell yourself, अभी ये होगा तो how am I going to react to it?
Yes.
में आपको ये होने वाला है, बहुत जल्दी होने वाला है.
Absolutely.
Across both the sexes, across the diagnosis, the children are getting there earlier than usual. So by 10, 11, you will see, 12, you will see this self-stimulation behavior. So
Yes.
be careful with that. I'm so sorry. बाकी हम लोग ना बाद में करेंगे. The last Shweta का मैं I'll take the question because Shweta also has to go, and then we'll call her again. So we'll keep talking more about it. So Shweta ka question hai, her son is on the spectrum and he's 10 years. He throws, destroys, breaks and wastes things, laptops, mobile, remotes, oils, creams, lotion, shampoos, nothing in house is safe. This is from his childhood and never been better. Can't take away our eyes even for a second. Shweta, you there? Yeah, you're here.
Yes. So, so my question, can I speak to Shweta?
Shweta, can you unmute yourself? Shweta Singh.
This is I guess Vivan, right?
Yeah, Vivan.
Yes.
Shweta, can you unmute? I know, maybe something's. I don't know. Maybe we can answer, Shweta, if it is like generally we can answer, then.
Generally, if I answer, then maybe if he's throwing things, it could be behavior, it could be prop, it could be that he's seeking sound, it could be he's seeking visual. So, which is why I wanted to speak to her, because generally I cannot answer this question.
Right, but this has been happening like forever. She's saying this is from the childhood and never been better.
So it could be that he has developed that behavior. If he has not received any therapy for this, maybe he has developed this as a behavior that whenever his demands are not being met, maybe he is going to throw something and shayad mummy jo hai usko lekar ke she'll come, are ye mat theko, ye mat throw karo, and some sort of attention he's going to get over it. It could be an attention seeking as well. It might not be sensory, it could be just behavior and attention seeking. So we need to work on the attention. So maybe the first and the foremost thing, if it is just the attention seeking, we can let him throw. And the things that we know that are in his reach should be something which are not breakable, so that there should not be any loss, nobody will get hurt out of it. We can keep the things, but let him throw. Don't give him any sort of attention on it. कि अगर वो throw भी कर रहा है, उसको उसकी wanted attention नहीं मिल रही है, and then he will not repeat the behavior. He might not. So this is just a might answer. I don't know. Maybe I might not be answering it to the point.
Shweta, if you're still here, you can unmute and let us know. Okay. That's all right. I think she's not here.
I wanted to ask one thing. I'm Neha.
Yes, Neha.
Yeah. Children most of the time behave like this. When their demands are not met, they do something which is really embarrassing, like sitting on the ground, or my daughter spits also. Okay. When she's quiet and normal, then I ask her, okay, this is a bad behavior, this should not be done. You can raise your voice, you can talk, you can say. So she agrees, but she again repeats the same thing.
So my question to you is, whenever she does like this, what do you do in return?
Most of the time I tell her this is not correct. You should say it rather than spitting. You should tell it loudly. And sometimes I scold her very badly. Okay, this is really bad. Your germs are going to the other person. This is not a good thing to do.
Do you fulfill her demand?
No, mostly no.
Mostly no. Okay. So whenever she is maybe spitting or throwing something, does she always try to do this in public or at home as well?
No, sometimes at home as well. Mostly when I say her, okay, this is to be shared between you and your brother, or this thing has to be done like this, then she doesn't agree to it. She अपने आप को ना वो express करती है अपना what you call ingratitude कि I am being supposed told to do this. So in that way she expressed like that.
Okay, so maybe what you can try and do is you can prepare her well in advance as possible. I know every situation is not something that you can plan it and
That
do it
helps.
just planned, yes. But if there is some situation which you know that she has to share maybe, or you're going there and she might demand for that specific thing, so you can prepare her that maybe this is something that I'm getting, and you will you share it with your brother or something like that. So you can prepare her well in advance. That can be one thing. Or maybe if you're going out and you know that she might demand for a toy or for a doll or something like that, so you can tell her, if you're going out, you have toys at home, so we will come back and play with our toys. There we are going to maybe just a stroll, or we'll just go and maybe we are going for a grocery shopping only, or something, maybe a list that you've prepared, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you plan a visit,
that really helps.
That will help you. So
yeah, I have tried it and it helps. But there are many situations when it doesn't. So how do I tell her to rationalize her anger? I mean, she can shout.
So I think in that sense, what you can do is you can create such situations at home. Create those situations at home, because charity always begins at home. So if you can manage those angers at home, only then you'll be able to manage those angers outside. Okay, so you create such situation, you know that this is going to happen, and you tell her that, beta, here first we can speak it to mama, and then so and so, whatever is the situation.
Also, Neha, I'll just to my 2 cents, it's more than the sensory. Also, it's like, since it's a behavior, it's also what child is getting from the environment. See, where is he getting this input that it is okay to shout?
I think maybe
angry. I'm sorry.
Because she was doing it very long time back, and she moved from that. Okay, she stopped doing it. But again, from last, I think 15-20 days, she's doing it. So maybe from school or from other children.
Right. So yeah, probably we can discuss more about it in
sure.
otherwise also. Okay.
And there can be just one thing added on to this. So whenever she's shouting, you can just simply tell her a single line that first you speak slowly, then mama can speak to you. You don't give your reaction to her shouting. Maybe you can simply just tell her that.
Shout. I tell her you have to speak loudly if somebody is not listening to you. She doesn't shout normally.
Okay.
She behaves like this only.
She just throws or something like that. So you
not
tell her
throws,
that
she spits or pinches, or she just makes a face and stands like this. That I am angry. And the other person has to understand why she's angry.
She doesn't shout. Okay, so maybe you can tell her to express. So that's
that's a little bit there. Ki whenever she's in public gathering, she doesn't express. She just sights and is a little bit afraid of talking and doing things.
So maybe you can have, so like I said, that you can create such a situation. So maybe the ones who are very, very close, maybe, your sister or maybe someone who's very, very close. And then you create such a situation so that you can push her to express herself. So if in 4 people she's able to express herself, then only she'll be able to express herself in 10 people.
Yeah, it's not actually people, it's the strangers.
Okay.
Neha, I think the phrases we had talked about the phrases when the child is angry. I mean, what uske paas hai kya? How have she been told कि गुस्सा होना है तो ऐसा behave करना है? Yeah, how would you express yourself when you're angry? I think.
I'm just told you can say कि I don't like this, change it, or do this thing, do it like this. I've told her, but yeah, obviously at that time she's not very that much reasonable that she can say.
I think to this, like I said, that maybe first time they will not understand, but 50th time maybe they will. So you have to be consistent on it. You just don't have to lose your patience and be consistent. To every parent who has got behaviors, you need to be consistent with whatever you know that is correct, and this is how your child should be behaving. So you need to be consistent on that particular term. That's what I mean. I always tell to all my parents that you need to be consistent.
And Shweta, do you think role modeling would be good? Matlab, when Neha can get angry and tell how she expresses her anger, and then when the child observes that this is the good way
It
to be
is.
able to speak or to be able to express, when my mama gets angry, this is how she behaves. This is the words she uses. This is the body language
Exactly.
she has. I think that
Yeah.
would be
That
where to
would
come
be
really
better.
handy,
Certainly, yes. Definitely.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
All
so much.
thank you, and thank you so much, Shweta. And I know a lot of questions are not unanswered, like not answered, and so Shweta, you'll have to come again soon.
I would love, and I really want to tell each one of you, you guys are in a wonderful hand actually. Because I know I have seen Arshia in her initial phases, and today I can really appreciate how amazingly, she has reared her and so what she's performing. So you guys are in beautiful hands.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
Again, Mutual Admiration Society. And I only call people who has to say good things about me. Otherwise, I don't call them only. But no, thank you, Shweta. I mean, sincerely, it's been a wonderful session, and I hope we can meet again. So we can have more such questions. And it has been, some of the things that you have said had been really, really good. And I think especially for recognizing the sensory needs of the child is something that you can take away from this session. Okay. So yeah, Shweta, thank you so much. And thank you so much everyone for coming here on the Shara early morning. And we'll meet soon next Wednesday. We are all meeting, and all the best and happy Dussehra to everyone.
Happy Dussehra. Happy Dussehra. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.